What he does from that position is he brings pressure on the deep end, but also pressure on the short end. A lot of wide receivers can only do one or the other. He's dynamic. He's an incredible route runner. He's got giant hands. He can go up and get the football. DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray will be a nightmare in that division, but DeAndre Hopkins, 8th best player in football. Few more for you. Number 9, Stephon Gilmore, definitely the best corner in football right now. For the New England Patriots, he not only locked down defenders, but he can tackle. Where a lot of corners, what we see in the NFL, we see a lot of leg diving, or we see a lot of wrap-ups. Stephon Gilmore can hit. He is a running back at the cornerback position. Stephon Gilmore is a lockdown, put me on an island, ain't no one going to come over here type of corner. Richard Sherman, the last time we really saw that was a Richard Sherman back in the Seattle Seahawks days in the Legion of Boom. Stephon Gilmore, best corner in football, 9 for me. And last but not least, the San Francisco 49ers' very own George Kittle rounds out the top 10. George Kittle is simply the best tight end in football. It's not Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce is more athletic. Travis Kelce has a bigger catch radius in the sense that he can go up and get balls that are bigger than George Kittle or higher than George Kittle can go get. But George Kittle can single-handedly out-catch him, out-route run him, out-block him. George Kittle's the best tight end in football, deserves to be in this 10 spot. He was a little bit high in the NFL 100's original list, but George Kittle rounds out 10 for me, deserves to be there. Well, there you have it. That is my NFL 100 top 10 players list. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think that I need to move somebody. Let me know if you have your list. I'd love to compare. I'd love to see who you got where and why. There's a lot of players that can be moved around here. It's more of an opinion-based setting than it is a concrete setting. The only concrete that should be on your list is Patrick Mahomes as the number 1 best player in football and Aaron Donald as the number 2 best player on the defensive side of the ball in football. So let's go ahead and get into a little bit of the NBA. How can we not start the day off without talking about this first? LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and the Los Angeles Lakers have now clinched the number 1 seed in the West. Yes, they have done so before the Milwaukee Bucks have clinched the number 1 seed in the East. Yes, LeBron has come over from the least of the East to the best of the West and reclaimed the throne as the number 1 seed. And every time in 2013 and 2016 that LeBron James has been a number 1 seed, he has won the NBA championship. Therefore, it goes to further my opinion that LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers, with the help of Anthony Davis, will claim the title this year, hoist it up, and say, Kobe, this is for you. Congratulations, Los Angeles. Now you have 5 games left to really consider what you want to do with them. Now that the Lakers have locked up that first seed, they now can manipulate the seeding a little bit. They can lose to Houston. They can lose to the Kings. They can rest players on both those nights. And what that will do is that will move Houston up, meaning that the Clippers will have to play Houston a little bit earlier, probably in the second round, as opposed to the Lakers having to play Houston. And it will bring Sacramento up, which doesn't do much for the Lakers. They could care less. It just gives them an extra night to really rest players. I don't know what they're going to do. Being out for so long, I think it's beneficial for these players to be in the games, but it's also beneficial for these players to kind of manipulate the seeding a little bit so that way they can make their path to the championship a little bit easier. Now, I know I criticized the Los Angeles Lakers about their loss to the Toronto Raptors the other night. I finally see what the Los Angeles Lakers are trying to accomplish and what they're doing. What the Los Angeles Lakers are doing is they are allowing Anthony Davis to get the ball early and often. LeBron is making the bench really step up. Kudos to Kyle Kuzma. He has played out of his mind. He's shot a high percentage. He looks good. Defensively, he's engaged. He's mad when he's messing up defensive assignments. Alex Caruso is a blessing in disguise that Rondo is out because Alex Caruso is the man. His defense not only speaks volumes to who he is as a player, but he really runs the offense, and he brings the type of energy that a lot of players don't have. Now that the Lakers are kind of fully healthy, Caldwell Pope started playing better last night. The Lakers really need to use at least 2 to 3 games to lock in the rest of their rotation. Dion Waiters and J.R. Smith are still up in the air as to who's going to get those minutes. So the Lakers now have kind of manipulation time. I would use 3 of these games to really hone in on your lineup, and then I would rest the Rockets and Kings. Give your players some rest before you go into the playoffs. And as far as details and game breaking down and an individual player, of course, Anthony Davis put up a 42-piece last night in their win against the Utah Jazz. That's some stuff that I'm going to start hitting on the weekly NBA podcast. As the bubble is going on, I'm going to be doing a short little segment. For those of you who joined in and listened on Saturday, thank you very much. That's going to be a weekly thing, so we can weekly update on all things NBA and really dive into the specifics of what's going on, how the players are playing, and all that. So in order to get some more NBA insight as to individual playing, game-wise, make sure you listen to the NBA bubble. It will be on the normal podcast. It's going to release on Saturday mornings. I want to continue to stay in the NBA, though. Let's go ahead and move on to another contender, someone who probably will clinch the East tonight in their victory, the Milwaukee Bucks. Here's what I have to say about the Bucks. I will continue to say this for all of time. The Bucks are limited so long as Giannis Antetokounmpo cannot shoot a jump shot consistently 15 feet and out. What happened when they lost to the Houston Rockets the other night? Not only did James Harden play out of his mind, and we'll talk about that in just a second, but Giannis was forced to give the ball up because he cannot shoot consistently, and now he's relying on Chris Middleton and Eric Bledsoe and the Lopez brothers to really create shots. I have this same problem with the Los Angeles Clippers that I do with the Milwaukee Bucks. When your superstars have to rely on other players to create their own shot and to make their own shot to win close games, I don't like that at all. What it proves is that you don't know how to be more dynamic to get around a defender and either create a better shot for your teammate or to take the game-winning shot. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, LeBron James passes the ball up at the end. Yes, but if you listen to what I'm saying, LeBron James creates a better shot, creates the best play opportunity for his team. That might be whoever. That might be J.R. Smith or Latavius Caldwell-Pope or Alex Caruso taking a game-winning three because that's the best available play. Or that might be LeBron James driving and winning the game like he did at the Clippers the other night on opening day of basketball. That's what I appreciate about LeBron. LeBron is always going to make the right play. Giannis, Kawhi, they rely on other players to really carry them in the final moments. What happened when the Lakers played the Milwaukee Bucks before the breakdown? Giannis got shut down by Anthony Davis and LeBron James. He therefore relied on Chris Middleton to try and create his own shot. Chris Middleton is not that type of guy. And if I'm a superstar, I'm not trusting my secondary guy to go up and take and make a game-winning shot. Once again, hear what I'm saying. I am okay if a superstar creates the best available play for their team. And that might mean the superstar taking the shot or the superstar driving and kicking for a wide open shot. I approve of that. But Giannis is starting to fall into the latter of the category where Giannis really isn't doing a whole lot, and he's trying to make his teammates not only create their own shot, but have to go make the big shots in close games. Now, I think that is a learning curve. They have not played a whole lot of fourth quarter close games. Giannis hasn't played a whole lot in the fourth quarter. And as Giannis's jump shot gets better, that will inevitably shut down a lot of what ails the Bucks, and that's Giannis not being a great shooter and Giannis not being able to take the ball over in the last couple minutes of a game and really create for his team. Kawhi, same thing. We saw Kawhi Leonard on opening day of basketball continually defer to Paul George and continually kick the ball, never really creating for his team, not really even playing great defense. That's my problem with Kawhi Leonard. First off, he sits out half the year, therefore I don't respect you as a basketball player. But secondly, he waits for Sweet Lou to come in and Sweet Lou to not only create his own shot, but make his own shot. The Clippers are going to go as Sweet Lou and Paul George go. If Paul George can continually be that guy, Paul George right now is playing like a LeBron James type of guy. Someone who can create a shot or he's going to kick for the best shot available. Kawhi Leonard's not doing that, neither is Giannis. Now, I think Giannis is going to continually learn. The Bucks are very well coached, and I think that's something that will come up in the later meetings. And as they have closer fourth quarter games, they're going to have to learn how to close and close the right way. So the Bucks are going to be in these fistfights coming up, but they need to learn that now, not when it comes playoff time. That's what ails the Bucks. Plain and simple. If Giannis can become consistent 15 feet and out, if Giannis can continually take the ball in close fourth quarter games and learn how to play in close fourth quarter games, the Bucks are going to be in the championship without a doubt. If not, they're going to run into a Boston Celtics team that is going to make life very hard for them, especially when Jason Tatum continues to go off. We have another big story in the bubble, Zion Williamson. Big in both aspects in the sense that he's a massively large, giant human being who waddles like a penguin, but also massive in the sense that Zion balled out last night with 23 points and the win. And Zion looks mad. He looks upset. The coaches have put him on minute restrictions the first 2 games. They've dropped both of those games, one severely to the Clippers. You need Zion Williamson in order for this engine to run. What I loved about last night, Zion, as opposed to opening day Zion, yeah, Zion scored the opening day games, but it doesn't matter. They have people that can fill buckets over there. You've got some players that can completely dominate on the offensive side of the ball via Brandon Ingram. We not only need you to get 23 a night, but we also need you to get 12 rebounds, couple steals, couple blocks. And last night, I saw Zion rebounding. I saw Zion being explosive on the offensive side of the ball. That's the Zion you're going to have for 35 minutes a game. Zion has discussed with his team that he is upset that he's not playing enough. He's upset that his minutes have been restricted. Zion's a baller. Ballers want to go out there and ball. Last night, they kind of let the reins loose on him. He was able to go out there and produce at a very high level. Zion, if he can stay healthy, if he can lose some weight, will be a star player for years to come. My problem is Zion Williamson carries himself like he's a 7'2" center, not a 6'9" small forward or power forward. He's got to do something about his weight. He's got to do something about how he carries his body. Zach Randolph had a very long, illustrious career, but if you know how Zach Randolph played, Zach Randolph was not I'm going to blow up and slam a ball and jump 37 inches off the ground every single time I do it. Zach Randolph was like, you know where the ground is? I live about an inch above that. Big Zebo. Love Zach Randolph. One of my all-time favorite players, strictly because he was the epitome of every dad in a gym on a Saturday morning, and he made a career out of it, so congratulations. But health-wise, Zion's healthy right now. He played at a very elite level last night, not only from scoring, but rebounding. Defensively, he was strong. But a play that really sticks out in my mind is Zion drives down, he gets blocked on the offensive side of the ball, gets knocked down, then his coach has to call a timeout because Zion is way too slow to even get back in transition. I don't know if he's that out of shape, if it's injuries ailing him, if it's his weight that slowly is just weighing him down. But Zion's got to be on the healthier side. He's got to lose at least 25 pounds in order for his career to last long in the NBA. Like I said, Big Zebo, Zach Randolph didn't play 35, 40 inches off the ground. Zion does. But the Pelicans will go as Zion goes. If the Pelicans can continue to build this thing, Brandon Ingram is a young star in this league. You have a lot of young pieces. I think Lonzo is an incredible ball disher, contributor. He's not a great scorer. He's a very good passer, a good defender. You have Zion in that mix as well. You have all the pieces to be a good playoff team in the next couple years. It all is going to go how Zion goes and how his health goes. Jrue Holiday can only do so much. It looks like this is really weighing Jrue Holiday down. I wouldn't be surprised if Jrue Holiday asked for a trade in the next year or two, or if he never re-ups with the Pelicans. Jrue Holiday is such an incredible talent that doesn't need to be wasted in New Orleans. He needs to request a trade or get out of there. Let the young guys take over the team. Jrue needs to go to a contender immediately. I love watching Jrue Holiday play. He's one of the most talented point guards / guards in the entire NBA. Moving forward, let's go ahead and hit the Los Angeles Clippers real quick. The Clippers are playing at a very elite level. Oh, I take that back. Paul George is playing at a very elite level right now. They're still missing players. They're still not fully armed. They still don't have their roster the way they needed to. They still don't have the rotations down. Paul George is playing phenomenal right now, but what happens when Paul George doesn't shoot 49%, doesn't shoot 50% for a game. I think they're in serious trouble.